What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to G-Ball Vision. Thank you for stopping in. Today I have another exciting unboxing to dig into for you guys. Before we get started, double check and make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I would love to have you here. And before you head out, do me a huge favor. Hit the thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate everyone. It really helps get the videos out there to more people. Feel free to let me know what you are carrying in your pockets today down in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. So we have a QSP to take a look at. Shout out to Brother Craig for sending this in for me to take a look at, and we will be giving this away to one lucky member. This is called the QSP Parrot. And this is a model that I have actually never checked out from QSP. Get a couple of stickers in there. Now, this is going to be out of their more affordable line, coming in red micarta, which their affordable line, their budget line is really not to be messed with. Very hard to beat. A lot of these knives, you can find them in like the $30, $40 range. And I think that's a great price point to be in for these knives, because once you get up to that $50, $60 area, there are some other companies that start to take over, like Miguron and Kubey. So I think if they can continue to sit in that like mid 30s to mid 40s area, they're going to continue to control that area. The Penguin, the Parrot, and there's a couple other models as well that land in that price point. This is going to be coming in D2. We have a nice satin, a machine satin drop point, kind of almost spear pointy, pretty much a nice spear point there, a drop point nonetheless. And then we do have dual thumb studs for the deployment on this guy. This is a liner lock, and I believe, are these on? No, this might be on bearings. I was gonna say it might be on washers, but I think this is on bearings. This is going to be a mid-size knife. It's not overly large, it's not overly small. It's going to be kind of in that, kind of in that size range that a lot of people look for. A lot of bread and butters out there as far as this size is concerned. The micarta is very well done when it comes to QSP's affordable line. I think they do a phenomenal, exceptional job at what micarta they choose to put on these knives. It's nice and smooth, but it's still got a little bit of that furry texture to it. But if you really need it, it will be grippy, especially if your hands are kind of sweaty or a little wet. That does, make the micarta a little bit more grippy. So that also, and it looks good as well. So, kind of that quadruple banger there. We do have a lanyard hole there, 2 standoffs, good size standoffs, I might add. And then we do have a reversible pocket clip that will be lower mounted. That way you have ease of access to get this in and out of your pocket. And speaking of that, why don't we go ahead and see what this guy looks like in the pocket with our Issuing Stitches Hank. There's always a link down there for Issuing Stitches, along with a 10% off coupon code. Will be a little bit poking out as it is a lower mounted clip, but going to be under that 1/2 inch mark that I look for. That is going to give you a nice amount of surface area to grab this thing and pull it out of the pocket. Very good retention on that clip. It's a very simple, subtle pocket clip, and it's going to just work well. And I believe these are going to come in at a very affordable price. Lockup is looking good. Now, this has been owned, and I'm assuming carried and, used a little bit by Craig. But for all, considering all things, it looks in very, very good condition. There's no markings on the blade. We can't view this as a new knife coming out of the box, but it sure looks like it really could be. I don't see any marks on the blade whatsoever. Is that one there? No, there's nothing on this blade. The edge looks really good. The handle looks good. So either A, he didn't carry this a whole lot, which is not a big deal. I have knives that I don't get to carry a whole lot, or it's something he really, really took care of. Nicely centered, still nicely centered, which is good. Lockup is sitting pretty early there, about, that might be like 15% if we're being very generous there. It really feels like, I don't know, but it feels like this was not carried much. If I had to take a guess, by the action here, you see how there's like a little hesitation because I'm unlocking here, and you see that little bit of hesitation? That's kind of a tall tale sign to me that either A, it has not been broken in, so that means it hasn't been carried much, or B, the pivot is a little tighter than maybe that it should be, but it's not. It has very smooth action. There's no grittiness in there. The detent feels nice and clicky. It's going to be hard to tell on video with a liner lock, but it has a nice, positive, clicky detent. There's no detent lash. Nope, there's no detent lash in there, which is good. There's no pivot lash. We have solid lockup. There's no up and down play. And if I really wrench on it, I can get that blade to move, but it doesn't feel like anything's moving there in the pivot. So for all intents and purposes, I think it's locked up pretty well. Why don't we go ahead and we'll see what kind of edge is still on this thing. We'll get our fingerprints off of here, and we'll check this edge and see what kind of edge is still on it. The cool thing about D2 is it's a pretty damn tough steel. It's easy to touch up, and it gets a lot of criticism because of all these super steels that are out there now. But D2 has been a fine steel for a very long time, and there's a reason that it's still used today. I've talked with some older folks than me, and they, some of them cannot believe that we're able to get knives that are very good quality, like such as this one, that come in D2 for like $30. Because, D2 used to be is kind of the, an old super steel. It used to be kind of the king in its heyday. And now it is, really looked down upon by some. By others, not, some people really hold D2 in a high regard. So, and I'm kind of, I wouldn't say in the middle. I like D2. I appreciate D2 for what it is. Especially when you can get well done, well heat treated D2 at a very affordable price. Let's just say 45 and under, 40 and under, somewhere in there, right? If you can get a good heat treated D2 knife such as this one for under like $40 to $45, you're in a good spot. You're going to be getting a very good steel in D2 at that price point. And this, I think, would make a nice little user right here. This would make a great backup carry in my opinion. Some people, this would definitely be, a full-size primary knife to them. So, it's just kind of pick your poison. But this would be a great secondary carry for me. You got that nice low drop point blade. You have no interference here, so you'll be able to get right up behind that edge for controlled cuts. You'll be able to choke right up so you can get up on that tip for more precise type cuts. Just going to be a great all-around user. I guess there's one thing left to check, and that is to see how that lockup is. So we have the old spine whacker here. If you are not familiar, this has seen more spine than anything ever. So we have positive lockout there. Let's just see, because that early lockup doesn't necessarily mean that it's trouble. because there's plenty of knives that I've tested that have early lockup that succeed. But typically when it's very early, a lot of knives have the potential to fail. Wow, that's good. That is, oh man, it's great to see. Great to see. Wow, that's impressive. What that means, guys, is, you know, and I'm not smashing the hell out of this thing. It's just a few lighter taps just to make sure everything is proper in there. With proper lock face geometry, with the proper lockup, the knife, the folding knife, should be able to withstand a little bit of adversity, such as what I just demonstrated there. You know, you may disagree that that test is invalid, and I would say you're wrong. I believe knives that have a lock, such as this one, should at least be able to withstand some minimal light taps like that. Am I asking to be able to take this and hammer a nail in, or jam it in between, you know, two 2x4s that are screwed together and pry them apart? You know, no. I'm just asking that it's not going to accidentally close on my hand for whatever reason, right? Whether you're cutting into material and you come up into something accidentally, or you have the knife and you accidentally hit it off something. Whatever the case is, it's hard to duplicate, replicate something and stuff that happens on accident. Nobody is planning on, while they're using their knife, you know, an accident happening where the spine of that blade gets hit. That's the, you know, that's the whole thing right there. But you guys will have to let me know. What do you guys think of QSP? I love hearing from you guys. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. I always appreciate that, guys. It really helps get the videos pushed out there to more people. And if you are new here, we release videos just like this one every single day. Hit that subscribe button, ring the little bell. I would love to have you here. Otherwise, guys, I'll throw up a couple of new videos. Go check one of those out. Have an awesome day. Thank you for watching. I will catch you on that next one.